what's been going on for the next or last 7 days, not next 7 days?
So, something that I saw that is hot off the presses today is a script from Ben Whitmore around Intune reporting. I noticed that Ben teased it a couple of days ago on social media, and then just released it earlier today. So basically has a script here that will actually hit the Microsoft Graph API and pull down Intune reports for you. Um, I've worked with some of the reporting endpoints in the past, and they're if you have a little bit of familiarity with uh, uh, how to manipulate JSON and work with a REST API, I would say they're pretty decent in my experience. But having something like this is going to make it a lot easier. Um, Another really big quality of life improvement that I think this script is going to give us that I noticed Ben uh, added here is the scheduling. So you can actually schedule this script to run reports on a regular basis and download them in whatever format you want. So using the reporting APIs in Graph, it's always going to send JSON. But Ben's script will allow you to save them as CSV, as JSON, and do that scheduling for you. So, fortunately enough, I actually got this working just before we started here, and
Well in time.
exactly, and I only say actually got this working. The way that Ben has put out the uh, help on this script is very straightforward. It's just you know just in time demo, I guess. So, anyways, that's neither here nor there. Basically, I have downloaded this script from Ben's GitHub here. Come on, LinkedIn. I know what I clicked on. um, uh, so basically, there are a few requirements here. We need to make sure that we already have the Microsoft Graph SDK installed. We need to have PowerShell, which I think most of us will have on our Windows OS already. We need to have an app registration that has the correct permissions on it. So there's several reports you can see once we pull this up here, which permissions are going to be required for these. And of course, internet connectivity here. So there's some logging and everything. I'll let you read through this if you want to use this script. But basically, download this script. Um, Go ahead and call it. I give it a save path, as you can see here. I also give it my tenant ID and my client ID. So in my case, my client ID is just a regular enterprise application that I'm using here that has a whole bunch of permissions on it. Go ahead and run the script. We'll be presented with the options for all of the reports that we can run with this script. So you can see, just call out a couple of examples here: device compliance, report of devices. We have some endpoint security reports here that can be very useful, especially for those scheduled tasks, I think, where we're seeing firewall status, if we have any malware on our endpoints, that sort of thing. We also have a couple of Windows updates reports as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose one of them. I'll choose an easy one that doesn't have any filters. That's the all apps list. Let's go ahead and choose that report. We'll see that it will connect. And then it's going to start to hit that reporting endpoint. So again, some nice logging here. We can actually see exactly what's going on in the script. So we'll give it just a moment here. And then it starts to download that report. It tells us exactly where it's saved out. And if we go over to that directory here, so this is the Intune scripts directory that I specified there. I can go ahead and click on this latest CSV file. And sure enough, there I have a report of all of my applications that are currently in my tenant. We see the name of the application, any notes on it, a lot of Patch My PC applications showing up here in my reporting. Um, and any other information about the applications. So it's not just Win32 apps that I have in here. We can see my Mac OS applications that I have, what type of applications I have in here. Some really nice stuff. Here's our Win32 apps. Here's our WinGet or Windows Store apps. We have an Office suite that's in here. I don't typically use this, but it is in my tenant. So that's just one example of the many reports that are showing up in the script. So kudos as usual to Ben for putting this together. This is fantastic stuff. Something that I'll likely get going here as a scheduled task in my own environments, just to have this reporting going on. We can see trends and changes over time if we need to. Very useful stuff. Another thing I came across here was a post from Ugur Cook on using custom attributes with macOS in Intune. So he has a couple of scripts here that we can use to update things like what does our AppleCare warranty status look like on a macOS device? What does our Microsoft Auto Update application look like if we have our Office suite installed on macOS? So some really nice scripts here, I think. He's got a couple of other ones that have been in this repo for a little while. The last time the device was rebooted, local admin report, that sort of thing. But another useful set of scripts for our toolbox if we're managing macOS devices, I think. I've got two more things, but the last tool that I have for today, I think I missed some of the. It looked like there was some announcements starting back in December, so I haven't had too much time to play around with this yet. But I noticed that Recast released their right-click tools that have been around for, gosh, what, Johan, 10 years at least now at this point?
I mean, I was using right-click tools back in SMS 2000, maybe not 2003, but at least CMO7. So yeah, good 10 years plus for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. That's awesome. So we're all fairly familiar with the tools, and I noticed that they released right-click tools for Intune version. Again, haven't played around with it too much yet, but if we have anyone else out there that has used them, would definitely be interested in hearing some feedback. In the very, very short amount of time that I did play around with them, it was simply installing the Right Click Tools community version and a browser extension to work with Intune. And I saw some of the tools available there, but haven't messed around with the functionality too much. Still, nevertheless, exciting to see these tools show up for Intune as well. Tools that have been so popular on the ConfigMgr side for such a long time.
So it sounds like a bit of homework for you until next week, so you can show how they actually work when you have the
I,
extension installed.
I think so. I think that is a reasonable ask. I'll put that on the list. Last but not least, not new for us at least, but a reminder if you haven't seen the announcement yet. The last couple of years, Microsoft has done an online event called the Technical Takeoff. Primarily, that's usually surrounding little technologies within Windows, Intune, Entra. I shouldn't say little technologies, but sort of small sessions about technologies related to Windows, Intune, Entra, and a lot of the systems that we work with as Microsoft systems managers. Great event the last couple of years. This year's is scheduled for March 3rd through 6th. Definitely recommend attending this, viewing the videos online. Typically, they also have a sort of online Q&A that's also going on in this page. So just wanted to put a reminder out there for that event. And that was what I had on my list for this afternoon.
All right. I have a few things. First one is I think, timely connected to the scripts from Ben Whitmore. We have our friends over at Youngling in the Cloud, meaning Nikolai and Matthias, and with guests, Trevor Joseph. No, was it Trevor? Was it Peter? One of the two. Let me see if I can find that link. I'm gonna share my screen here, or steal the screen.
All right.
Not that one, but this one here. A 20-minute video on, basically working with feature update reporting. So highly recommend watching that one. Good one to learn about reporting. So that was one of the news. Let's see, did I lose Andrew? Is he still lurking around? I wonder what happened. What can possibly go wrong in a live stream, as they say? I seem to have internet connection still. Andrew just texted me. He just disconnected momentarily. He'll be back, but that's all right. He can have a few minutes of break here. We did showcase also, and this is just a friendly reminder, we have the Nordic Virtual Summit coming up, a free community event 2 weeks from now. Even though it's very early for folks based in the US, highly recommend attending it. These sessions are not recorded, so you have to be there live to see them, but well worth the time. Great sessions coming up on that one. I also spent some time writing a blog post for a fellow MVP. He was asking me for just a high-level overview on how to upgrade the operating systems of a ConfigMgr site server using backup and restore. In general, that particular method is a favorite of both Andrew and I, because it always gives you that clean and pristine setup of a server. But I just wanted to point out that it is indeed supported of doing in-place upgrades. I just had much better success with the backup and restore option. So I put together a little, step-by-step guide on how to do that. So if you're interested, it's up there. If you have any comments, feedback, by all means, let me know, and I'll be happy to update the post. We also announced a new community course on the Academy. These are our about monthly free courses that we create here, but this is about moving on from the MDT integration in ConfigMgr, basically migrate away from it to PowerShell equivalent and other solutions. So on February 20, we will spend an hour and a half, Andrew and I, going through what options to have there. And basically, these are Microsoft recommendations to move away from the ConfigMgr templates that have that MDT integration. You can still reuse some of the scripts, etc., but we will go through all of that on February 20. So that was that.